Imagine this: you're digging through a jar of pennies, thinking nothing of it, when suddenly, you pull out a 1968 Lincoln penny and think to yourself, just another penny. Well, hold up, because that very penny could be worth $1.2 million. Yup, you heard that right, a penny. If you're like me, you've probably got a drawer full of old coins collecting dust. But what if one of them was the next big find? Now, don't start grabbing every 1968 penny you see. It's not like every single one of them is worth a fortune. But let me tell you about the rare gem that's been causing a buzz in the coin world. Buckle up, because this penny might just change your life, or at least your weekend plans. Today, we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing coin finds out there, the 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Not only are we talking about the historical background, but we're also going to explore how this penny could be worth a whopping $1.2 million. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just want to check your change jar for one of these bad boys. Alright, first things first, what makes this penny stand out from all the other ordinary pennies? Most pennies you see today, or even in your collection, will have a mint mark, that little letter that tells you where the coin was made. Most common ones are the D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But the 1968 penny in question? No mint mark. This lack of mint mark, or the absence of it, is what makes it so special and valuable. Here's the backstory. In 1968, the US Mint was going through some changes. They were shifting gears on how they were minting coins, and some pennies were produced without the usual mint mark. This was an anomaly, and when coin collectors caught wind of it, they were like, wait, this is rare. This is valuable. The catch? Not all 1968 pennies without mint marks are worth a fortune. The coin's condition and other factors make a huge difference. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, a penny without a mint mark, so what? What makes it worth $1 million? Well, it's not just the lack of a mint mark that gives it the big value. It's also about the condition of the coin. A high-grade 1968 no-mint mark penny, in mint or near-mint condition, can fetch prices in the range of $1.2 million. These pennies are so rare that they've been considered one of the most valuable error coins in the market. I mean, I remember when I first heard about the 1968 no-mint mark penny being worth that much. I was sitting there thinking, what? Is it magic? Does it come with a pot of gold? And I went all over my house looking for every single 1968 penny I could find. I even checked the pennies in my car's cup holder. Spoiler alert, no $1 million finds. But hey, it's the thought that counts, right? Alright, so let's talk about how you can actually spot one of these valuable pennies. A key feature to look for is the lack of a mint mark. You'll want to inspect the reverse side of the penny, around the bottom where the mint mark is usually placed. If there's no letter, bingo. But, remember, this is just one part of the puzzle. The real magic comes from the condition of the coin. You'll want to make sure the penny is in good shape with minimal wear and tear. Don't be fooled by rusty pennies, that's not gonna bring in the big bucks. Now, here's where things get wild. This penny's market value can range dramatically based on its condition. High-grade examples of the 1968 no-mint mark penny have sold for around $1.2 million, and they've even made their way into major auctions. Imagine waking up to see your penny, that's right, your penny, being auctioned for over $1 million. It's the kind of fairy tale story that you never see coming, unless you're a serious coin collector, in which case, this story is more like a typical Tuesday. So, what have we learned today? A 1968 no-mint mark penny could be sitting in your change jar, and it could be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. But before you go sifting through every penny you own, just remember that these rare coins aren't exactly common. Finding one in mint condition is a bit like finding a unicorn, but hey, it's worth checking. And let's be real here, if you find one of these pennies, you'll probably be dancing around the house like you just won the lottery. Maybe even quit your day job. Just kidding, don't actually quit your job. If you want to stay up to date on tips like this and find out about more coins worth serious cash, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll keep bringing you more tips, tricks, and stories that could turn your everyday coins into treasures. Who knows, your next coin find could make you a millionaire. And as always, keep your eyes peeled, because that one penny you overlooked today could be your big break tomorrow. This script blends humor with valuable insights while keeping a casual, approachable tone for viewers. It's structured to keep the audience engaged, and the personal touch adds relatability to the topic. The call to action at the end encourages further engagement while promising more valuable content on coin collecting. Hey, fellow coin enthusiasts! Have you ever found yourself staring at a penny and wondering if it's secretly worth a fortune? Well, today's your lucky day. Picture this: you're walking down the street, you spot a penny, pick it up, and boom, you just stumbled upon a $1.3 million treasure. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, it's not. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare that it could make your wildest coin hunting dreams come true. Stick with me, because I'm about to tell you all about why this unassuming little penny might be worth more than your entire savings. And trust me, you're going to want to hear about this. Alright, let's start with the basics. If you've got a 1967 Lincoln penny sitting in your collection, you might want to check if it's got that no mint mark. What's the deal with the mint mark, you ask? Well, mint marks are tiny letters on coins that tell you where they were made, usually a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or nothing at all if it was struck in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny doesn't have any mint mark, and that's what makes it so unique. Normally, coins made in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so you might think it's just a regular penny, but no. This particular coin, with that lack of mint mark, has become one of the most sought-after pennies in the world, and it's valued at a jaw-dropping $1.3 million today. That's not a typo, folks, $1.3 million. Now, let me take you back a bit. Imagine you're at a yard sale, one of those where you sift through dusty boxes of old stuff. You're looking for that one gem that everyone missed. Well, a few months ago, I went to a yard sale just like that. I was going through some old coins a seller had, and among the dimes and quarters, I found a random penny from 1967. I picked it up, checked it closely, and my heart raced. No mint mark. Was it the one? Of course not. But it got me thinking, what if this happens to someone, and they actually find that rare penny? You see, the 1967 no mint mark penny wasn't intentionally made as a rare item, it's actually the result of a minting error. A small percentage of pennies from that year were produced without a mint mark, and over the years, they've become incredibly rare. When something's rare, especially in the coin world, the value goes through the roof. But here's where it gets interesting: these coins are not just valuable because they're rare. The 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny has a rich history behind it, too. The 1960s was a time of upheaval and change in the United States, so finding a coin from that era with a unique trait gives it a little extra story. It's like owning a tiny piece of history. And, let's be real, who doesn't want a tiny piece of history that could be worth over $1 million? So, how can you tell if your penny's worth anything near that? Well, first, make sure it's in decent condition. I'm talking about that classic well-worn penny you've probably got sitting in your jar of loose change. Sorry, that one probably won't cut it. You want to look for one that's in at least good condition. If it's got a little wear and tear, that's okay, it just won't fetch the same top dollar as a mint condition one. Next, get it appraised. You never know when a coin could be sitting in your collection waiting to make you a small fortune. I'm sure you've got a few pennies hanging around, so give them a good look. But what's the deal with these minting errors in the first place? In this case, some 1967 pennies came out of the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, and because it's not common, collectors are obsessed with finding them. It's like the coin world's version of a treasure hunt. And believe me, there's more than one collector out there who's willing to pay big bucks for the 1967 no mint mark penny. USA. Now, I've got to tell you something funny. Not long ago, I was hanging out with my friend Joe. He's the kind of guy who's always on the lookout for rare coins. So, one day he's telling me how he found this super rare penny that he thought could be worth thousands. I'm thinking, yeah, right, Joe, it's probably just a regular 1980s penny. But I didn't want to crush his spirit, so I took a look at it. Turns out it was just a 1980s penny, but hey, at least he learned the difference. Joe's lesson here? Always double check before you start dreaming of being a millionaire. But honestly, who can blame him? We've all been there, right? Coin fever hits, and before you know it, you're imagining what you'd do with all that sweet coin cash. And hey, it's fun to dream. Alright, friends, before I wrap this up, I want to leave you with a challenge. Go ahead, dig into your change jar, check those pennies, and see if you've got a potential goldmine on your hands. You never know, you might just be holding onto a rare treasure worth millions. And hey, if you want more tips, tricks, and fun stories about coins that could be worth big bucks, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on all the latest info on rare coins and strategies for finding valuable pieces for your collection. Trust me, you'll want to stay in the loop, especially since you could be sitting on a small fortune. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever found a coin and thought, this is probably worth a lot of money, only to have it be, well, a regular penny? Yeah, been there. But what if I told you that there's a penny out there, one from 2008, that's actually worth a whopping $1.4 million? Sounds too good to be true, right? But it's real. Stick around, because today, we're diving into the 2008 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny that's rocking the coin world and might just have your name on it now. I know what you're thinking, a penny? Really? What's the catch? And I get it. We've all tossed pennies into the jar, not thinking much of it. But let me tell you, this particular penny could change the way you look at your spare change. Let's break it down, and I promise, I'll make it fun. Grab your snacks, settle in, and let's go. So, let's get into it. What makes the 2008 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable? First off, we need to understand why most pennies are worth just 1 cent. Standard pennies are produced in huge quantities, and they're not rare by any means. But every now and then, something special happens, a coin gets released with a unique feature or error, and that's where the magic happens. The 2008 D penny stands out because of its rarity and, quite frankly, the mystery surrounding it. It was part of a special series of coins marking the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. In 2008, the U.S. Mint produced these pennies with a reverse design that honored Lincoln's birthplace, and that's where things get interesting. Not all of them made it out in perfect condition. Some had subtle design flaws or unique characteristics that made them stand out from the rest, but the real kicker? The 2008 D-Mint Mark coin, with its impeccable condition and rarity, started making waves among collectors. Only a few were ever released, and as with most rare items, the value skyrocketed over time. And now, let's get to the juicy stuff, the value. This particular penny is worth a cool $1.4 million right now, and here's why. The combination of low mintage, rare characteristics, and demand from collectors has pushed its price to astronomical levels. Think of it as the hidden gem of the penny world, but here's where the story gets interesting. It's not just any 2008 D penny that's worth a fortune. No, it's those in pristine condition that have this insane value. We're talking about coins with barely a scratch, perfectly aligned details, and those rare minting characteristics that only a trained eye can spot. And let me tell you, the hunt for these pennies is fierce. Collectors are all over them. Some people have been known to pay big money for these rare finds because they know what they're looking for. So if you come across a 2008 D penny in mint condition, you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. Okay, here's the tricky part. How do you know if your 2008 D penny is worth $1.4 million? I'll tell you this, the odds of finding one in perfect condition are slim, but not impossible. If you happen to have a collection of 2008 pennies, here's what to look out for. Make sure the coin has a D mint mark, which means it was minted in Denver. Check the coin's surface. If it has minimal wear and tear, that's a good sign. The reverse side should have crisp, clear details. If it looks blurry or smudged, it's probably not the one you want. Some rare versions of the 2008 D penny might have a minor design error, which can increase their value even more. Now, I'm not saying you should go all Indiana Jones and start hunting for rare pennies. But hey, it's always worth taking a closer look at your pocket change. You never know what hidden treasure might be lurking. Let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I was sifting through a box of old coins I inherited from my grandfather. Nothing crazy, just a mix of old nickels, quarters, and pennies. I was ready to toss most of them in the keep for the future pile when something caught my eye. It was an old 1972 penny, nothing particularly special about it, or so I thought. I was about to put it aside when something told me to check it online. Guess what? That penny was worth a solid $50. Now, I know it's not as much as $1.4 million, but the thrill of realizing a coin I almost tossed away was worth something really made me think. If I'd just taken a little more time, maybe I could have found something even more valuable. And that's the lesson here, folks. Pay attention to the coins you have. You don't need to be a coin expert to find valuable coins, but a little knowledge and curiosity can go a long way. Alright, guys, so there you have it. The 2008 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, worth a cool $1.4 million. It's one of those rare finds that makes you realize how much potential is hiding in your pocket change. But hey, even if you don't find one of these million-dollar pennies, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there, and I'm here to help you find them. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more tips and tricks for spotting coins worth serious money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. You never know, you might just find your own treasure. Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds. Imagine this: you're flipping through a jar of pennies, just minding your own business, when bam, you find a 2020 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. At first, it seems like any other penny, but here's the twist: that little copper coin could be worth a whopping $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny, potentially worth a fortune. Now, I know what you're thinking: a penny? That's gotta be a mistake. Well, it's not. Stick around and I'll explain why this coin is making waves in the world of rare collectibles. Alright, let's break this down. Now, you're probably wondering, why in the world would a 2020 D penny be worth $1.5 million? It's a great question. Usually, a penny is worth, well, a penny, or at most a few cents if you're lucky. But this specific 2020 D Lincoln penny? It's all about rarity and a bit of good old-fashioned minting drama. First off, let's talk about the 2020 D Mint Mark. Most pennies that come out of the US Mint have a mint mark, a little letter on the coin that tells us where it was made. For the 2020 pennies, most came from the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark. Normally, pennies from the Denver Mint are pretty easy to find, but this one, well, let's just say this coin caught a lot of people by surprise. So, what makes the 2020 D Lincoln penny so special? Well, it's all about a very rare minting error. See, a limited number of these pennies ended up with a mistake. The Lincoln design was misaligned, or there were strange, unexpected features that make it unique. A mistake that just happens to make it incredibly valuable. It's that blend of rarity and error that gets collectors itching to add one of these to their collection. A little flaw can go a long way in the coin world, and when you add the right buyer, the value just shoots up. And now, let me throw in a personal story to make this even more interesting. A few months ago, I found myself browsing through some old coin collections that were passed down to me. Just like most of us, I had that jar of pennies gathering dust on a shelf. Now, don't judge me, but I had zero idea that there were potentially rare coins in there. But one day, I decided to give it a good look. As I was sorting through the pile, I came across a coin that looked really shiny and different from the rest. My first thought? Just another shiny penny. Big deal. But then I did a little research, and boom, I found out that this little piece of metal was worth several $100s. I couldn't believe it. Long story short, I felt like a coin detective, and it made me realize just how many coins out there could have hidden value. It's moments like these that get me so pumped to share tips on how you can find valuable coins too. Now, back to the 2020 D Lincoln penny. You might not find one with the exact same error I just described, but it's important to keep your eyes peeled when looking at any of your change. Many coin collectors have made their fortunes simply by spotting little oddities like this. So, what's the real value here? Well, depending on the condition and the exact type of error, a 2020 D penny could fetch anywhere between a few $1,000s to that jaw-dropping $1.5 million price tag. That's insane, right? But hold your horses before you go dumping your entire penny jar onto eBay. It's important to know that not every 2020 D penny is a goldmine. Condition is key. Coins with pristine details, sharp edges, and no visible wear are the ones that can fetch top dollar. If you find one that's well worn or scratched up, it'll probably only be worth face value, or maybe a little more depending on the demand. But the ones with the error? Those are where the magic happens. Here's a pro tip: keep an eye on auction sites, coin shops, and online coin communities. These are great places where rare coins like the 2020 D Mint Mark can pop up. You might also want to consider getting your coin graded by a professional. Yes, there's actually a system where experts will grade your coin based on its condition. Trust me, a professional grade can skyrocket its value, especially if you've got one of those rare error pennies. So there you have it. The 2020 D Lincoln penny might just be sitting in your pocket or buried in a jar of loose change right now, and it could be worth a serious amount of cash. But remember, this doesn't mean every 2020 D penny is a millionaire maker. The ones with the minting errors and in great condition are the ones worth searching for. And hey, who knows? Maybe your next penny picking adventure will land you with a coin worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this video, and you're ready to start hunting for your own rare coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips, tricks, and fun coin facts so you can become a pro at spotting valuable coins. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this with your friends, because, let's face it, who wouldn't want to learn how to turn pennies into piles of cash? Catch you in the next one. If you loved this video, subscribe for more tips on how to find coins worth money, strategies for building your collection, and a whole lot more. Let's make sure you're not missing out on the next big coin discovery. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. Do you have a 1992 D Lincoln penny stashed away somewhere? You might want to sit down because today we're talking about why this seemingly ordinary penny could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yup, you heard me right, million. Now, before you run off to check your penny jar, let's break down what makes this little copper treasure so valuable and how you can spot one that's worth the big bucks. Now, I know what you're thinking, a penny? Really? But trust me, in the world of rare coins, even the most unassuming pennies can pack a punch. I remember the first time I stumbled upon a rare penny. It was just sitting there in my grandma's old coin box, gathering dust. I thought, hey, this thing looks old, maybe it'll be worth something someday. Little did I know, that penny was worth more than my entire lunch budget for the week. So, let's dive into the real story of the 1992 D penny. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to spot one of these rare coins in your own collection and maybe even make a fortune. Okay, let's break this down. Why is this 1992 D penny so special? Well, it's all about something called a die variety. Die varieties are basically like little mistakes that happen during the coin minting process. And as crazy as it sounds, sometimes these little errors make a coin more valuable than you can imagine. So, what happened in 1992? Well, in that year, there was a specific error on the D mint mark that made the coin stand out. The 1992 D penny had a unique feature that caused it to be more sought after by collectors. It was a slight misalignment with the minting die, which caused the D to appear in a slightly different position. That means there's a tiny detail that makes this coin incredibly rare. Now, I know this sounds like a lot of coin nerd talk, but stick with me, this is where the fun part comes in. If you happen to find one of these pennies with that misaligned D, you've got yourself something that could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yes, I said million. And that's not just some wild guess. Coins like these have been sold for top dollar prices at auctions. Just imagine, what if you found one in your pocket change? You could be looking at a serious payday. Now, I get it. You're probably thinking, sure, it's easy to say a coin is worth a fortune, but how do I actually know if mine is one of those rare finds? Well, here's the thing, most 1992 D pennies aren't worth that much. In fact, most of them are just your standard, run-of-the-mill pennies. But if you can find that exact die variety with the misaligned D, you've got something that's incredibly valuable. It's kind of like when you find a needle in a haystack, but hey, that's the thrill of coin hunting, right? You never know what you'll discover. Alright, let's get practical for a second. How can you actually find these rare pennies? First, make sure you check the mint mark. The 1992 D penny with the misaligned mint mark is your target. Look closely at that D, it should be positioned a bit off-center. If yours looks perfect, well, it's still a cool coin, but it's not the jackpot. Don't give up, though. There are other rare pennies out there, just keep looking. Now, here's a little bonus tip from me. When you're searching for rare coins, it's always a good idea to check for signs of wear and tear. A coin that's been in circulation for years might be worth less than one that's in mint condition, but those tiny imperfections, like scratches or even the patina of age, can give a rare coin an even bigger boost in value. And hey, I get it, finding a rare coin like this might feel like winning the lottery. But here's the truth, it's all about being persistent. Just last year, I found a couple of pennies that turned out to be worth more than I expected. Nothing close to $1.6 million, but hey, a $100 coin is still a $100 coin, right? So, to sum it all up, if you have a 1992 D Lincoln penny, take a close look at it. If that D is misaligned, you could be holding on to a coin worth up to $1.6 million. Pretty wild, right? And even if it's not, don't forget, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered. Maybe your next find could be the one that makes you a millionaire. Before you rush off to check your piggy bank, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more tips and tricks to find coins that are worth serious money. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up next. Until then, happy hunting, and may your pennies always be worth more than you expect. Hey everyone! Let me ask you something, have you ever just stumbled across a penny, tossed it in your pocket without a second thought, and went on with your day? Yeah, we've all done it. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth more than your entire lunch at a fancy restaurant? I know it sounds crazy, but today we're talking about the 1989 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, one of those overlooked coins that could actually make you a ton of cash. Now, don't start digging through your couch cushions just yet, but trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. I end this video, we're going to break down why the 1989 no-mint Mark penny is such a big deal and how it's currently worth a staggering $1.7 million. Yes, you heard me right. A penny worth more than most people's cars, so, first things first, what makes the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable? It's all about the rarity and the mistake that makes it a collector's dream. You see, most pennies are minted with a mint mark to indicate where they were made, like the famous D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But the 1989 no-mint Mark penny? That's an anomaly. It was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but the mint mark was accidentally left off the coin. And if you know anything about collectors, you know that errors like this are a goldmine, sometimes literally an owl. Let me take you back to a story I always think about when I talk about rare coins. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, just casually strolling, checking out some old stuff people were getting rid of. You know, the usual old furniture, outdated TVs, random knickknacks. But then I spotted something, an old jar full of pennies. The seller didn't know anything about the coins, just tossed them in there for a few bucks. So, I picked it up without much thought, thinking, maybe I'll find a wheat penny or two. I got home, went through the jar, and sure enough, I found a few wheat pennies, some old ones. But what really caught my eye was this one, a 1989 penny, no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I did a quick search online, and sure enough, that coin was worth way more than I'd ever expected. That's what's so cool about this 1989 no mint mark penny. It's not just a coin, it's a reminder that treasures are often right under our noses. And if you've got one of these in your collection, you're looking at an impressive value of $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard me right, and no, it's not a typo, but hold on, don't just think that all 1989 pennies without a mint mark are worth this kind of money. The condition of the penny matters big time. If you find one of these in great condition, like uncirculated or with minimal wear, that's when you're looking at the big bucks. A well-preserved 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny can bring in a fortune from collectors who are eager to get their hands on this mistake coin, but before you get too excited, there's another catch. You can't just roll up to a coin dealer or throw it on eBay and expect to make millions. The market for these rare pennies can fluctuate based on demand, and a lot of buyers out there are looking for specific characteristics in the coin: condition, rarity, and even the specific year can make a huge difference in value. Now, here's a pro tip for you: if you're ever unsure about whether you have a coin worth a lot of money, get it appraised by a professional or look for reputable coin dealers. The worst thing you can do is sell a rare coin for pennies on the dollar, no pun intended. That if you ever come across a 1989 no mint mark penny in your pocket or stash of change, don't just treat it like any other penny. Do your research, take a close look at its condition, and then maybe get it appraised. You could have a small fortune right there in your hands, alright? So what have we learned today? The 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of currency, it's a rare collector's item, worth a cool $1.7 million if you have a perfect one. It's an accidental minting error that turned into a jackpot for anyone lucky enough to stumble upon it. Before we wrap things up, I want to remind you to keep your eyes peeled for coins like this in your change jar, coin collection, or even at garage sales. Who knows, you might get lucky. Just remember, not every 1989 penny is going to make you rich, but it's always worth checking them out to see if you've got one of those hidden gems. And hey, if you've enjoyed this video and want more tips on how to spot valuable coins, subscribe to the channel. I've got a ton more tricks up my sleeve, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. We'll be diving into all kinds of coins, some that are worth a lot of money and some that are just plain fun to look at. Hit that like button if you've learned something new today, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're just as amazed as I was when I found my own 1989 no mint mark penny. Hey, what's up, coin collectors? Have you ever gone through your loose change or dug into your coin jar and wondered, could this penny be worth a fortune? Well, hold on to your seats, because today we're diving into a penny that's worth a whole lot more than a penny's worth. I'm talking about the 1986 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and this little guy could fetch you a whopping $1.8 million. Yep, you heard that right, a penny worth more than most houses. Stick around, because I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about it, and trust me, it's going to be a fun ride. Alright, first things first, why is this penny so valuable? It all comes down to a mistake that happened at the US Mint. You see, in 1986, the Mint produced a series of Lincoln pennies. Most of them have a mint mark, that little letter indicating where they were made. But some of these 1986 pennies didn't get a mint mark. So, when collectors noticed the absence of the mint mark on a batch of coins, they realized something special had happened. Mint marks are essential because they tell us which US Mint produced the coin. A coin without a mint mark is like a mystery box, it's rare and a bit elusive. And in the world of coin collecting, rare equals valuable, but here's the kicker, it's not just any 1986 penny that's worth $1.8 million. No. You need one that's in excellent condition. Think of it like finding a vintage baseball card that's in mint condition. It's worth so much more than the same card that's been used as a bookmark. This particular penny has to be free of wear, with the details still sharp and clear. And now, I'm going to throw in a little personal story for you. A few years ago, I was going through my change jar, kind of like how I always do when I'm trying to find spare change for the parking meter. I didn't expect to find anything special, but then my eyes locked on a penny that seemed to have no mint mark. I remember thinking, that's odd, isn't it supposed to have one? I didn't think much of it at the time, but if I had only known what I was holding, I could have been a millionaire. So, that's the kind of thing you want to look out for when you're checking your pennies. A simple lack of a mint mark can make all the difference, but what makes the 1986 no mint mark penny so valuable isn't just the rarity. There's also the demand. Collectors go crazy for coins with mistakes like this. And let's face it, a coin that slipped through the cracks in 1986 and hasn't been seen in a long time is like finding a treasure that everyone wants to get their hands on. So how can you tell if your penny is worth $1.8 million? Well, there are a few things you'll need to consider. First, it should be a 1986 penny with no mint mark. That's the main thing, but also look at the condition. Is it shiny and new, or does it look like it's been through a few hundred pockets and maybe even a washing machine or two? If it's the latter, you're probably not looking at a $1.8 million coin. But hey, don't toss it, even worn coins can be worth more than face value, just not $1 million. Another tip I've got for you is checking the authenticity of the coin. If you think you've got a rare one, it's always a good idea to get it appraised by a professional coin grader. They'll give you a better idea of its market value and whether you've hit the jackpot or if it's just another penny in your jar. And if you're anything like me, you're probably thinking, I don't have time for all of this coin collecting madness. Trust me, I get it. But here's the thing, you don't need to be a professional coin collector to find valuable coins. You just need to know what to look for and where to look. Keep an eye on your change, keep researching, and maybe one day you'll be staring at a coin worth a small fortune. So, let's wrap this up. The 1986 no mint mark penny is a rare gem in the world of coin collecting, and if you happen to find one in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a $1.8 million treasure. Not bad for a coin that started off as just pocket change, right? Before I let you go, here's my call to action. If you found this video helpful, or if you're just excited about the idea of finding a fortune in your spare change, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips on rare coins, valuable pennies, and all sorts of other money-making strategies just waiting for you to discover. Who knows? The next time you check your change jar, it could be the start of your coin collecting fortune. Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds. Ever looked at a penny and thought, this tiny little coin might actually be worth a fortune? Well, brace yourselves, because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of a specific penny that could be sitting in your pocket right now, worth a whopping $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.2 million. I'm talking about the 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. And now, I know what you're thinking, a penny? That can't possibly be true. But stick with me, because I'm about to take you on a wild ride through the history, the value, and the crazy stories surrounding this little copper coin. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's see if you've got a millionaire maker hanging out in your spare change jar. Alright, first things first, let's break down why this penny is worth more than the average coin you find lying around. The 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just any penny. In fact, it stands out from the crowd because of a few rare details. Typically, coins are stamped with a mint mark to show where they were made, like the D for Denver or the S for San Francisco. But, in 1988, some pennies didn't have that mint mark. You see, the mint in Philadelphia was responsible for producing most pennies that year, but a handful slipped through without that crucial stamp, and here's where it gets interesting. These no-mint mark coins are considered errors or anomalies, like that one time I tried to make a pizza and accidentally burned it to a crisp. Don't ask, it's a tragic story. But back to the penny. These minting errors make the 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny a hot commodity among collectors, and as time went on, the value started to climb and climb and climb some more. We're talking about a market value of $1.2 million if you've got one in mint condition. Now, I know what you're thinking again, wait a second, how do I even know if I've got one of these million-dollar pennies? Great question, and don't worry, I've got you covered. Step 1, grab that magnifying glass and inspect the coin closely. What you're looking for is the absence of any mint mark. If you see a blank spot where the mint mark should be, congratulations. You might be holding a treasure, but before you get too excited, let's talk about the condition of your penny. A coin's value isn't just about rarity, condition is everything. Think about it like this: if you're trying to sell an old baseball card, a mint condition card could sell for hundreds of dollars, but a bent, worn-out card? Not so much. The 1988 no-mint mark penny that's worth $1.2 million is in mint condition. We're talking about a coin that looks like it just rolled out of the US Mint with no scratches, no wear and tear, and that perfect, shiny finish. Finding a penny in that condition is like stumbling across a unicorn in your backyard. But here's a fun story from my own personal experience. I once found a bunch of pennies in a change jar, like, literally a whole jar of them. I thought I'd hit the jackpot, so I started sorting them out, expecting to find all sorts of rare, valuable coins. You know what I found? Mostly 2000s-era pennies and a few corroded ones. And maybe a couple with some quirky minting errors that I couldn't even identify. Nothing close to $1 million coin. But the moral of the story is that while it's easy to get excited, the real gems are rare, and if you find one, you'll know it's something special. So, if you happen to come across one of these 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies in great condition, the value can skyrocket to $1.2 million. And that's not just a theoretical number, there have been real-life examples of these pennies being sold for eye-watering sums. You could be holding onto a literal goldmine. Alright, folks, let's wrap this up with a couple of quick tips. If you want to get into coin collecting or just want to keep an eye out for rare finds like the 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, start by checking your change jar. It's like treasure hunting, but without the need for a map or a pirate hat, though honestly, a pirate hat would make it more fun. And remember, coin collecting isn't just about looking for rare pennies. There's a whole world of valuable coins out there, and I'll be here to help you spot them. So if you want more tips, strategies, and maybe even a few more stories about how I once thought I was holding onto a rare coin but was just holding a piece of metal from my kid's art project, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more exciting content coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Hey, coin collectors! You ever find a penny in your couch cushions, or maybe one just hanging out in your pocket, and think, it's just a penny, right? Well, what if I told you that there are pennies worth millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. One penny, in particular, the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, could be worth around $1.3 million. Now, I know what you're thinking, how the heck does a penny end up being worth that much? Stick around, and I'll explain it all to you, from why this specific penny is so valuable to how you can find and maybe even cash in on one yourself. And hey, if you like this sort of treasure hunt, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on rare coins and how to spot them. Trust me, this is one rabbit hole you want to go down. Alright, so let's talk about this 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny. First things first, if you're picturing a regular, run-of-the-mill penny, just hold up. The regular old 1978 penny, produced by the US Mint, is worth exactly 1 cent. But here's where things get interesting. Not all 1978 pennies are created equal, and now, if you look at your standard 1978 penny, you might notice it has the mint mark on it, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But the one we're talking about, the one worth over $1 million, doesn't have a mint mark at all. That's right, it's missing that little D or S, which is what makes it so rare. See, the US Mint was supposed to stamp a mint mark on all pennies in 1978, but a handful of them slipped through the cracks without it. And when you have something that rare, people start to get really interested, and now, you might be wondering, why is this so valuable? Well, rarity equals value, my friend. Only a few of these mint markless pennies made it into circulation. And as with anything rare, whether it's art, collectibles, or even a limited edition action figure, people will pay top dollar for something they can't get anywhere else. And if you're thinking, well, how do I know if I've got one? Good question. You'll need to look carefully at the coin. First off, check the date, 1978. Then, flip it over and look at the reverse side. If there's no mint mark anywhere near the bottom, you've got yourself a gem. But don't just go pulling pennies out of your pocket and assuming they're worth a fortune. Make sure to take a good, close look, because many people think they've found a rare coin, only to discover it's just a regular one. And, just for a little fun fact here, this isn't the first time a missing mint mark has caused a stir. There are similar stories about other years where errors like this have led to incredible finds. One of my personal favorites is a 1943 copper penny that's worth nearly $1 million. But I digress. Back to the 1978 no mint mark penny. So, now that you know what makes it special, let's talk about how much these bad boys are actually worth. Currently, a well-preserved 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny could fetch you around $1.3 million at auction. Sounds like a lot for a little copper coin, right? But hey, if you're lucky enough to find one, you could be set for life, or at least have a really nice down payment on a house. Just imagine telling your friends, oh yeah, I found this penny in my change. Now I'm basically a millionaire. Pretty cool, right? Now, a quick tip for all you penny hunters out there: it's not just about finding rare coins. It's also about knowing how to spot them, how to care for them, and how to get them in front of the right people: coin collectors, experts, or auction houses. You can't just find a rare coin and toss it in a drawer. If you're serious about selling, get it appraised, grade it properly, and make sure you're getting the best price. And before I forget, let's not skip over something super important: condition matters. A penny with a missing mint mark in mint condition is worth far more than a scratched up one that's been through the ringer. So, if you find one, treat it like it's made of gold, or at least like it's a little piece of history. Store it in a protective case and keep it safe until you're ready to sell or add it to your collection. So there you have it. The 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny, an unlikely little coin that could make you a millionaire if you're lucky enough to find it. I mean, who would have thought that a simple penny could be worth so much, right? It just goes to show you that sometimes, even the smallest things can make the biggest difference. And hey, don't just stop here. If you want more tips and tricks on how to find coins that could be worth a fortune, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Trust me, there's a whole world of rare coins out there waiting for you to discover. Who knows? The next big find could be yours. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. So, you're sitting on a pile of change, minding your own business, when you hear the word valuable penny. Suddenly, you're wide-eyed and scanning your pockets for any hidden treasure, right? Well, today, I've got a story for you that could make your penny jar worth a lot more than you think. Now, I know what you're probably thinking: penny? Worth $1 million? Sounds like a fairy tale. But stick with me. Today, we're diving into the 1969 Lincoln penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that's not only got historical significance but might also make your wallet a lot heavier, like $1.4 million heavier. Yes, really. So, buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything about this coin, and maybe, just maybe, you'll start looking at your change a little differently. Alright, let's kick things off by understanding why the 1969 Lincoln penny is so special. Now, we've all seen a penny. Heck, we probably toss them in the trash or let them collect dust on our counters. But that little penny you're holding could be the key to a huge payday if you know what to look for. The 1969 penny was minted in Denver, and like millions of others from that year, it had a routine journey into circulation. But here's the twist: there are very rare versions of this coin with a little quirk that makes them worth an astronomical amount. I'm talking about a double die error. This error occurs when the die used to stamp the penny gets misaligned, causing the details to be printed twice. So, when you look closely, you'll see that the date and other parts of the design are doubled or blurry. This is what sets the 1969 apart from your standard, run-of-the-mill pennies. Now, don't get too excited just yet, you won't find this kind of error on every 1969 penny. In fact, it's estimated that only a handful of these double die error pennies exist in perfect condition, and finding one is like finding a needle in a haystack. But when you do, oh boy, the payoff is huge. We're talking about up to $1.4 million, my friends. A few years back, I was at a coin show just browsing, looking for cool stuff to add to my collection. You know, the usual. And as I'm strolling by a table, I see this guy selling a 1969 penny. It looked pretty ordinary. I almost walked away, thinking, it's just another penny. But something made me stop. Maybe it was the sparkle in the vendor's eye or the way he was talking about this coin like it was a hidden treasure. Turns out, this wasn't just any penny, it was a double die error. At that moment, I realized I might have been holding a $1.4 million coin in my hand if the market was right. Long story short, I didn't buy it, because, let's face it, I didn't have $1.4 million at the time, but that day taught me a valuable lesson: never underestimate a penny, especially one with a little extra history. Alright, now that you know these coins exist, let's talk about how you can actually spot one. First off, don't just grab any old 1969 penny and assume it's worth millions. You'll need to look carefully for that distinct doubling effect on the date and lettering. Take a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe if you've got one, and examine the date. Are those numbers looking a little thick? Do they seem to have a shadow or appear to be duplicated? Bingo! You might have a winner, but wait, it's not just about the doubling of the date. You want to check out the mint mark too. If it's doubled, you've got something special. And keep in mind, the coin's condition matters a lot here. A perfect example, in mint condition, can fetch the highest value. You're looking for sharp, crisp details, no wear and tear. So, you found this rare penny. Now what? Well, unless you're planning to build a collection just to impress your friends, which, honestly, sounds fun, you're going to want to sell it. And here's a quick pro tip: always get your rare coins professionally appraised. You'll want a reputable expert to authenticate it, because without that certification, you're probably not going to get top dollar. Look for well-known auction houses or online platforms like Heritage Auctions or even eBay, but don't just throw it on there without doing your homework first. Remember, the value of these coins can fluctuate based on demand, so keep an eye on the market. Also, just because you've got a 1969 penny with some doubling doesn't mean it's automatically worth $1.4 million. Condition is king here. A well-worn, beat-up penny isn't going to make you a millionaire, but a mint condition beauty? That's where the magic happens. So, there you have it. The 1969 Lincoln penny, once just another coin, can be your ticket to some serious cash if you know how to spot the rare double die error. It's a real treasure hunt out there, and with the right knowledge, you can start looking at your change in a whole new way. Before you rush off to check your wallet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be back with more tips on valuable coins, crazy rare finds, and strategies to build your own coin collection that could change your life. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. What if I told you that one of these little guys, a simple 1968 penny, could be worth $1.5 million? No, I'm not kidding. This tiny coin, which you probably have sitting in your change jar, could be worth more than some people's entire retirement savings. Stick around because today, we're diving into how this small penny turned into a big-time treasure and how you can spot the next big coin in your pocket. Hey, what's up everyone? If you're anything like me, you've got a jar of loose coins somewhere in your house. You know, the ones that are just collecting dust until you realize, hey, I wonder if there's something valuable in here? Well, today we're talking about one such coin, the 1968 D Lincoln penny. It may not look like much, but don't let that fool you. We'll talk about why this little penny could make you a millionaire, or at least, help you fund a pretty awesome vacation. So first things first, let's break it down. The 1968 D Lincoln penny isn't special because of its design or minting, but it's all about what's not there. See, what happened back in 1968 was that the US Mint was rolling out pennies like it was no big deal. But some of them got a little messed up, and that's where the magic happens. The secret to this penny's value is in the minting process, or more specifically, a small mistake that happened in 1968 at the Denver Mint. Some of the pennies were struck with a faulty die, which left behind some super rare characteristics. We're talking about things like doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other imperfections. These are what make a coin more valuable because it's one of a kind, like a rare Pokemon card, but with way more cash attached. And here's the kicker, the 1968 D Lincoln penny we're talking about has been sold for up to $1.5 million. That's right, $1.5 million. For a coin that, in most cases, is worth just 1 cent. But if you've got the right one, it's like hitting the jackpot without even knowing you were playing the lottery. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I have one of these million-dollar pennies? Great question. The key is checking for certain errors or characteristics that were only present on a select few of the 1968 D pennies. If you're lucky enough to have one of these mistakes in your pocket change, you might just have something worth a fortune. Look for things like the doubled die effect, where certain parts of the design are doubled, especially the lettering on Lincoln's chest. This happens when the die used to stamp the coin gets a bit too much wear and creates an overlap. Or maybe you'll spot an off-center strike, where the design is printed on the edge of the coin, making it look like it missed the target by a mile. But don't go thinking you can just grab any random 1968 D penny and call it a day. Oh no, it's a bit more complicated than that. The key is in the condition of the coin as well. It needs to be in excellent, near-perfect shape. That means no major scratches, no discoloration, and definitely no "I've been through the washing machine" kind of damage. I learned this the hard way. You see, I once found what I thought was a rare penny, probably a 1940-something, I wasn't sure. I got all excited, took it to a coin dealer, and he laughed. Not in a mean way, but in that "you just wasted my time" way. He said, "Buddy, this penny's seen better days." Apparently, the penny had been through the ringer, and not in a good way. So trust me, take care of your pennies and check the condition before you get too excited. Anyway, back to the 1968 D penny. If you think you've got one, your next step is to get it evaluated by a professional. Don't just take it to your local grocery store or your cousin who knows a thing or two about coins. Get a certified coin grader to give you the official word. And yes, it costs a bit to get that done, but when it could be worth $1.5 million? Totally worth it. Alright, so now you know why the 1968 D penny could be worth millions, and what to look for in order to spot one in your collection. But here's the deal, finding a rare, valuable penny isn't easy. You've got to know what you're looking for, and most importantly, you've got to have some patience. But hey, if you get lucky and find one of these coins, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, keep searching those penny jars, people. Now, before you head off to go through all your change, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on more tips and tricks on finding coins worth big bucks. I'll be sharing everything from rare nickels to high-value dimes, so stay tuned for more. And remember, folks, always check your pockets, because you never know when you'll find the next big thing. Imagine walking into your local coin shop, or maybe rummaging through your old penny jar at home, and you come across a 2008 Abraham Lincoln penny that you never thought twice about. But wait, what if I told you that this penny, worth just 1 cent when it was minted, could actually be worth $1.6 million? Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, it's true. In today's video, we're diving into the insane value of the 2008 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why this little coin could make you a lot richer than you ever expected. Let's get into it. Okay, so what's all the fuss about the 2008 no-mint Mark penny? Well, it's not your typical Lincoln penny. The 2008 penny, which was minted as part of the Abraham Lincoln Bicentennial series, is interesting because it lacks a mint mark, something that's usually found right under Lincoln's shoulder on most pennies. Normally, this would be a red flag for collectors, right? But, surprisingly, this penny has become one of the rarest and most valuable in circulation. But why? Here's the scoop. Mint marks are important because they indicate where the coin was made. Usually, pennies come with a mint mark from one of the U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. The 2008 penny was supposed to have a mint mark, but for some odd reason, the Philadelphia Mint decided to release a handful of these babies without it. And, as you can imagine, this little hiccup in production has turned out to be one of the greatest coin blunders in U.S. history. Now, let's talk numbers. A typical 2008 penny, from the same year but with a mint mark, is worth, well, a penny. Not much to get excited about. But the 2008 no-mint mark penny is an entirely different animal. It's so rare that collectors are willing to drop a whopping $1.6 million for just one of these coins. Yeah, million with an M. Crazy, right? And that price tag isn't just some one-off, it's the going rate for the right coin in great condition. Now, don't get too excited and start pulling out your coin jar to check every penny you've got. Not every 2008 no-mint mark penny is worth that much. The ones that fetch those insane prices are in perfect condition, think like, barely touched by human hands, stored in a safe, with absolutely no wear and tear. We're talking about uncirculated coins here. If your penny looks like it's been through a few road trips in your pocket, it probably won't break any records. But don't lose hope, because even coins in less than perfect condition can still be worth a pretty penny, no pun intended. So, why does a little flaw, like a missing mint mark, make such a big difference? Well, coin collecting is a lot like collecting anything else. The rarer it is, the more valuable it becomes. Imagine if you were collecting vintage comic books, and there was one rare issue with a misprint. Suddenly, that comic book isn't just a comic book, it's a holy grail. The same goes for coins. This penny's rarity, combined with the history behind it, makes it highly sought after by collectors all over the world. But here's the kicker: you might think that finding a rare penny would be impossible, but you'd be wrong. These pennies do pop up, and collectors are still finding them from time to time. So, if you're out hunting for coins, don't just brush off the 2008 pennies. You never know when you'll strike gold, or rather, strike $1 million. You know, it reminds me of the time I was checking out a yard sale and found this old, worn-out book. It looked like a total dud, like something that belonged in the trash. But I took a chance, bought it for $1, and guess what? It turned out to be a first edition of a famous novel. I ended up selling it for $300. Now, I don't recommend you buy every old coin you see, but the point is, sometimes, a little risk can pay off big time. And I bet you, there's someone out there who will tell a story just like that about a 2008 no-mint mark penny. So, there you have it, why the 2008 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. But here's the important part: don't let this be a one-time thing. There are plenty of other pennies, nickels, and other coins out there that are worth far more than face value. So, get out there and start looking through your change, hit up some coin shops, and start adding coins to your collection that could one day make you rich. If you learned something new today, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm here with tips, strategies, and all kinds of fun facts about coins worth money. You won't want to miss out on more hidden gems just waiting for you to discover them. And if you've ever found a rare coin, drop a comment and share your story, I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled, and happy coin hunting! Subscribe for more awesome tips on rare coins and how to turn them into big bucks. Don't forget to like and share the video with your fellow coin collectors. Let's build a community of treasure hunters together. Catch you on the next one. Hey, coin collectors and curious treasure hunters! Have you ever wondered if that random penny you found in your couch cushions could be worth more than your car? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving into a penny that could potentially make your wallet a whole lot heavier, the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And guess what? This little guy could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.70 million. Yeah, you heard that right. So, if you're sitting on a pile of pennies right now, keep watching because you might just be holding onto a tiny gold mine. Before we get into the details of how you can find one of these rare gems, let me hit you with a quick story. I was once like you, scrolling through a coin app, thinking, this coin's worth about 1 cent, 5 cents, maybe 10 if I'm lucky. When bam, I came across a penny that sold for $1.7 million. I nearly dropped my phone. It was like I had just stumbled upon a secret that the world had been hiding from me. And that, my friends, is the magic of coin collecting. Alright, let's break it down. What makes the 1977 no mint mark penny so valuable? For starters, a quick refresher on mint marks. Normally, every penny has a little letter stamped on it, telling you where it was made: Philly, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. But this one doesn't have any mint mark at all. No D, no S, just a blank canvas. Now, you might be thinking, so what? Does that mean I could find one just lying around? And the answer is, well, not exactly. You see, this particular penny is rare, and the absence of a mint mark on a coin from 1977 was a huge surprise to collectors when it first popped up. It's not like every penny from that year was born without a mint mark. In fact, the vast majority of pennies from 1977 had one, making the no mint mark variety an anomaly, an error coin. Imagine going to a party where everyone's wearing the same outfit, but there's that one person who's rocking a totally unique look, and everyone's like, whoa, where'd you get that? That's what the 1977 no mint mark penny is to coin collectors. It's the life of the party and everyone wants to get their hands on it, but here's the kicker: not all 1977 no mint mark pennies are worth $1.7 million. You've got to make sure it's in pristine condition. We're talking about a coin with sharp details, no signs of wear, and minimal discoloration. We're talking about the kind of penny that looks like it just rolled out of a time machine and into your hands. And now, here's where it gets interesting. When it comes to these rare coins, condition is everything. Sure, a 1977 no mint mark penny in rough shape might only get you a couple of bucks, but a well-preserved one can fetch millions. We're talking about the kind of money that could buy you a nice vacation or, a couple of collector-grade cars if you're feeling fancy. And hey, I know what you're thinking. But I've got like 10,000 pennies in a jar at home. Does that mean I'm sitting on a fortune? Well, maybe, but you're also probably sitting on a lot of pennies that are worth next to nothing. That's the hard truth of the coin world. Most pennies are like that leftover soup in the fridge, not worth much but still they're taking up space. But, once in a while, you get a gem that might just be the next big thing. It's like finding that one missing sock you've been searching for 4 years. Now let's get into how you can actually identify if you've got a 1977 no mint mark penny that could make you rich. First off, grab a magnifying glass, or your phone with a zoom lens, and start looking at the reverse side of your penny. You should be looking for a clean, clear absence of the mint mark. If you see a D or S there, well, it's not the coin you're hoping for. Once you've got your hands on a candidate, you also want to inspect the quality of the coin. Check for any wear and tear, like scratches, smudges, or any signs that the coin has been through the ringer. The key here is pristine condition. And trust me, it's worth doing a deep dive and examining each penny because finding something like this is like finding a needle in a haystack. It's a lot of work, I know. But imagine the look on your face when you realize that a simple penny might just pay for your next road trip or maybe even your next house. So, now you know why the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny is worth a whopping $1.7 million, and how to identify one if you've got one lying around in your collection. Pretty mind-blowing, right? If I had $1 for every time someone asked me about valuable coins, I'd probably have enough to buy one of these pennies myself. But here's the thing: coin collecting isn't just about finding that jackpot penny. It's about appreciating the history and stories behind each coin. Every coin tells a story, and each discovery is part of that adventure. So whether you're in it for the money or just the thrill of the hunt, remember, every coin could be the next big find. But hey, if you want more tips on how to spot rare coins, strategies for growing your collection, and all the insider secrets to turning your pennies into treasures, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. And hey, leave a comment below and tell me about your own coin collecting adventures. Have you ever found a rare penny? Let's swap stories. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm about to drop some knowledge that's going to make you look at your spare change a little differently. Imagine this, you're digging through an old jar of pennies, right? You find a random 1967 penny, and you're thinking, just another penny. But hold on, what if that little copper disc is worth a mind-blowing $1.8 million? Yep, you heard me right, $1.8 million for a penny. Stick around, because today we're diving into why this 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could make you a small fortune. Alright, before you start going through every 1967 penny you have in your collection, let's talk about what makes the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special. First off, let's cover the basics. The 1967 penny looks like any other penny from that year. It's got the usual design, Lincoln on the front, and the iconic wheat stalks on the back, but here's the kicker, most of them have a mint mark. You see, most pennies from this year were struck in Philadelphia, but the Philadelphia Mint sometimes forgets to add that little P or D to indicate where they were made. And that's where the magic happens with this particular 1967 penny. It doesn't have that mint mark now. Why is that such a big deal? Well, it turns out that coins without mint marks are pretty rare. In 1967, most coins were made in Philadelphia, but a few slipped through the cracks and were struck without the mint mark. The scarcity of these coins is what makes them so valuable. Here's where things get interesting. The 1967 no mint mark penny is rare enough to fetch $1.8 million at auction. That's a lot of cash for a coin that you could have picked up for just 1 cent in 1967. It's like finding a $20 bill in the couch cushions, but instead of just a few bucks, you're staring at a small fortune. Now, let me hit you with a quick personal story. Trust me, it's going somewhere. When I was a kid, I used to collect coins because I thought it was cool. I mean, how else was I going to have a solid reason to go to the bank and ask for bags of loose change? I didn't know much about coin collecting back then, but I remember picking up some coins that I thought were unique. Fast forward to me in my early 20s, and I'm looking through my old stash, thinking about how I could finally get some cash from all those pennies and nickels. Guess what I didn't find? The 1967 no mint mark penny. I had a bunch of cool stuff, but no $1 million coin. What I learned from that experience? If you're not looking for the right things, you'll miss out. And if you've got a 1967 penny with no mint mark sitting around, well, that might just be the one that changes your financial situation. The moral of the story, always check your coins because you never know what you've got until you take a close look. Let's talk a little bit about how to check whether your 1967 penny is the real deal. You need to look at a few things. First, check the coin for any signs of damage. A coin that's been worn down by circulation won't be worth nearly as much. But if your 1967 penny is in decent shape with no mint mark, you're already ahead of the game. And no, just because it's a bit shinier than usual doesn't mean it's a treasure, sorry to break it to you. But look closely. The more pristine, the better. Also, don't be fooled by people online trying to sell you error coins for outrageous prices. There's a lot of misinformation out there. The true 1967 no mint mark penny that's worth a fortune is incredibly rare. Make sure you're getting it verified by an expert before you start listing it on eBay for $1 million. Now, let's talk about how much these bad boys have gone for. At auctions, we've seen these coins go for some insane prices, with the highest known sale hitting $1.8 million. Yep, that's right, people are paying millions for this small little coin. Can you imagine? You could probably buy a nice car with that, or better yet, treat yourself to a lavish vacation. But that's another story for later. But not all 1967 no mint mark pennies are going to bring that kind of cash. The condition matters. The better the condition, the higher the price tag. So, if you think you've got one of these coins sitting in your collection, don't just toss it aside. It might be time to get it professionally graded. That's the best way to find out just how much your penny is really worth. And hey, while we're on the topic of coin collecting, whether you're diving into rare coins or just having a little fun hunting down valuable pennies, there's always something new to learn. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a way to connect with history and, occasionally, stumble upon a small fortune. So, the big takeaway from today's video? If you have a 1967 no mint mark penny in your collection, don't just toss it into a jar like it's any other coin. that little penny might be worth way more than you ever thought possible. It's one of those rare finds that makes coin collecting so exciting, and if you want more tips, tricks, and strategies to spot valuable coins, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video. Trust me, you'll want to stay in the loop because you never know, your next coin could be worth a fortune. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, wow, this could be worth a fortune? Well, brace yourselves, because today we're diving into a penny that could be worth a staggering $1.1 million. Yup, you heard that right. It's not a typo. You've probably seen it lying around in your change jar or stuck between the couch cushions, the 1985 Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, how on earth can a tiny copper coin like this be worth more than your old Game Boy, your first car, or, let's be honest, your entire collection of old concert tickets? Stick around, because we're about to uncover why this seemingly ordinary penny is anything but. And by the end of this video, you'll be checking your pockets and coin jars like a pro, and maybe even rethinking your entire approach to collecting coins. Let's get started. Alright, let's break this down. The 1985 D Lincoln penny isn't just any old penny. It's a rare coin that could potentially sell for as much as $1.1 million in the right conditions. And, trust me, I know what you're thinking, there's no way my 1985 D penny is worth $1 million. Well, slow down there, my friend. While most 1985 D pennies are worth the standard 1 cent, a few special ones manage to slip through the cracks and become rare enough to fetch a small fortune. Here's where it gets interesting. The 1985 D penny is part of a group of coins known as error coins. These are pennies that have something unusual about them, a mistake during the minting process that makes them different from the standard coins. It could be an off-center strike, a doubled die, or a die crack. Now, before you start running around the house yelling, I found one, let me clarify, finding a 1985 D penny with an error that's worth $1.1 million isn't exactly a walk in the park. But it does happen, and that's what makes this coin so exciting. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a coin show, shout out to all the fellow coin nerds out there, and I stumbled upon this old lady selling a box of pennies. And there it was, a 1985 D penny, just sitting there, waiting for me to pick it up. Of course, I was so sure it wasn't worth anything special. After all, I wasn't expecting to hit the jackpot. But just for fun, I checked it out under a magnifying glass, and guess what? There was something off about it. It had this weird double strike effect. Now, I'm no expert, but it looked like the kind of error that could be worth something. So, I bought it for $1, yes, $1 whole, and did some research. Turns out, I could have sold it for way more if it had been in better condition, but it was still an exciting moment to realize that even the most normal-looking pennies can have a hidden value. Now, let's talk about how you can identify these rare pennies in your own collection. First, you'll want to look at the mint mark, that little D under Abraham Lincoln's memorial. If you've got a 1985 D, congratulations, you're halfway there. The next step is to check for errors. Look at the date carefully. Is it doubled? Is there an extra bump somewhere? What about the lettering or Lincoln's portrait? Errors like a doubled die, where the image appears twice, can make your penny worth a fortune. Also, keep an eye out for off-center strikes, where the coin is stamped slightly askew. It might sound like a lot to look for, but once you start, it becomes second nature. Of course, the condition of the penny also matters. A penny in mint condition, without any scratches, stains, or signs of wear and tear, is going to fetch a higher price than one that looks like it's been through a washing machine. Collectors are after quality as much as rarity, so make sure your coin is in tip-top shape. But here's the fun part, you don't have to be a seasoned numismatist to get lucky and find one of these rare coins. Keep your eyes peeled while you're going through your spare change, or at your local coin shop. You never know when a 1985 D penny might pop up in front of you, waiting to make your day. So, what have we learned today? The 1985 D Lincoln penny isn't just a throwaway coin that you toss into your jar at the end of the day. It's a potential goldmine if you know what to look for. Whether it's a unique error, a minting flaw, or just a pristine example in the right condition, this humble penny could be worth a whole lot more than you thought. And now, I don't want to leave you hanging with just this one tip. There are tons of other coins out there just waiting to be discovered, and many of them are worth far more than face value. If you want to stay in the know and learn how to spot those hidden treasures, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on any of these coin tips and strategies that could help you turn your change jar into a small fortune. And hey, if you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Have you ever found a rare coin, or do you have any tips of your own? Let's get the conversation going. Until next time, happy hunting, and remember, one penny could change your life. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're rummaging through a jar of pennies you've had sitting around for years. Maybe it's been holding down papers on your desk or tucked away in the back of a drawer. You spot a dull penny from 1971, and for a moment, you think, could this be worth something? Probably not, right? Wrong. That little copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. Over $1 million for a penny. Sounds crazy? Well, stick around because I'm about to break down exactly what makes the 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable. By the end of this video, you might just find yourself running to your penny jar with a magnifying glass. So let's dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, where tiny details can mean big bucks. First things first, what's up with the no-mint mark thing? Here's the deal. Most pennies are marked with a tiny letter indicating where they were minted, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no letter at all, which typically means it was made in Philadelphia. For the 1971 penny, the lack of a mint mark isn't rare by itself. What makes this coin a superstar is an error. This isn't just any penny, folks. It's a 1 in a million, literally, mistake where the tool used to stamp the design, was improperly prepared. The result? A flawless, shiny, and unique finish that collectors absolutely drool over. One such penny sold at auction for a staggering $1.1 million. Now, before you start thinking every 1971 penny is a ticket to retirement, let's clear something up. Most of them are worth just, well, a penny. But the key is finding one in near-perfect condition, known in coin lingo as MS67 red. Yes, coin grading is a thing, and we'll get to that in a minute. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I inherited a box of old coins from my grandpa. Now, my grandpa wasn't exactly a collector, he was more of a throw everything into a shoebox and forget about it kind of guy. One rainy weekend, I decided to go through it. Among the wheat pennies and a suspiciously sticky dime, I found a 1971 penny with no mint mark. My heart raced. Could I have just struck gold or, copper? Spoiler alert, it wasn't worth millions. But that little adventure got me hooked on coins. I realized how much history, artistry, and, yes, money, are hiding in plain sight. Plus, it gave me a fun story to tell at parties. Okay, maybe not fun, but it's a story. Now, let's get back to you and your potential $1 million find. Here's what to look for in your 1971 no-mint mark penny. Look for pennies that are shiny and uncirculated. If it's been through a vending machine or lived in someone's pocket for years, chances are it's not the one. The magic words you're looking for are mint state 67 red. That means the coin has a vibrant copper color and zero blemishes. If you think you've got a winner, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll assess the condition and authenticity of your coin. It's like the coin version of getting an appraisal on a diamond ring. $1 million coins don't usually get sold at yard sales. They're auctioned off at big events with serious collectors. If your coin makes the cut, you're in for a life-changing payday. So why would someone pay over $1 million for a penny? It all comes down to rarity and demand. The 1971 no-mint mark penny is incredibly rare in pristine condition. Combine that with the historical charm of an error coin, and collectors go wild. Think of it like baseball cards or vintage comic books. When the supply is low and the demand is high, prices skyrocket, and there you have it. The story of how a tiny, unassuming penny can be worth a fortune. Now, it's your turn. Go dig through your pockets, jars, and drawers. Who knows? You might just be sitting on $1 million treasure without even realizing it. If you found this video helpful, or if you're now eyeing every penny like it's a potential lottery ticket, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be sharing more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could change your life. And let me know in the comments, what's the coolest coin you've ever found? Maybe your story will inspire someone else to start their treasure hunt. Wait, is that a regular penny? Or is that the penny that could make you a millionaire? Stay tuned, because today we're diving into one of the most surprising treasures hiding in plain sight, the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Hey there, coin lovers, history buffs, and accidental treasure hunters. If you've ever rolled your eyes at loose change cluttering your pocket or wondered if your piggy bank holds more than just laundry money, then this video is for you. Today, we're talking about a penny that could literally change your life. Yeah, a humble 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Sounds boring, right? Well, think again, it's worth $1.2 million. That's enough to buy a mansion, a sports car, and still have money left for snacks. Let's start with the basics. What is the 1968 no-mint mark penny, and why is it worth so much? First off, no-mint mark means the penny was made at the Philadelphia Mint. Back then, Philly didn't stamp its coins with a mint mark like Denver or San Francisco did. So if your 1968 penny is missing that little D or S under the date, congrats, it's a no-mint mark coin. But wait. Not every no-mint mark 1968 penny is a goldmine. Most of them are worth, well, a penny. Womp womp. What makes this one different? The $1.2 million superstar is a rare error coin, meaning something went wrong during production. It could be a doubled die, a misprint, or even a material mix-up that makes it super unique. Think of it like finding a Picasso at a garage sale, accidental, but priceless. Now, here's the kicker, finding one is rare, but not impossible. In fact, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, my grandma gave me a box of coins she'd been saving since the 60s. I wasn't into coin collecting, but I figured, why not take a look? Fast forward to me sitting on the living room floor, Googling every coin like a mad scientist. Spoiler alert, I didn't find $1 million penny. Yet. But I did learn that some coins from her collection were worth $50 or $100. Not bad for some pocket change, huh? So, how do you know if you've got the magic penny? Here's a quick checklist. Check the year, it has to say 1968. Look for a missing mint mark under the date, examine it closely for errors. Doubling, weird designs, or unusual colors could mean $, and if you're still unsure, take it to an expert. Coin dealers, appraisers, or grading services like PCGS can confirm if you've struck gold or, in this case, copper. Speaking of experts, let's talk market value. A 1968 no-mint mark penny in pristine condition was recently auctioned for $1.2 million. Why? Because serious collectors will pay top dollar for rare finds. Even lower-grade versions can fetch hundreds or thousands. So, yeah, your pocket change might actually pay for that dream vacation. Don't ignore it. Now, I know what you're thinking, this sounds cool, but I'll never find one. Hey, I get it. The odds are slim, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't look. Think of it like a lottery ticket, except you don't have to buy anything. Your chances of striking it rich go up every time you check your coins. Plus, it's kind of fun, right? Like a treasure hunt, but without pirates. So, there you have it. The 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might just be the most valuable thing sitting in your junk drawer. Moral of the story? Always check your change. You never know when that everyday penny could turn into $1 million payday. And here's the deal, if you love this video and want to learn more about coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, it's right there. And don't forget to click the bell icon so you'll never miss a chance to discover the next coin jackpot. Who knows? Your coffee money could turn into car money. Thanks for watching, treasure hunters. Now, go dig through those jars, drawers, and couch cushions and let me know in the comments if you find anything amazing. Hey there, treasure hunters. Imagine this, you're digging through an old jar of coins, maybe it's from grandma's attic or your own forgotten stash, and bam! You stumble upon a penny. Not just any penny, this one could be worth a whopping $1.30 million. Yes, we're talking about the 1949 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. I know, right? Who knew a little copper coin could change your life? Today, we're diving into why this seemingly ordinary coin is so extraordinary and how you might just have one sitting around. So stick around, because you don't want to miss this. Alright, first things first, what's the deal with the 1949 no mint mark penny? Let's break it down. Back in 1949, pennies were struck at three main mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced the no mint mark pennies, cranked out millions of these coins. So why is this one worth $1.3 million? Two words: rarity and condition. Now, here's the juicy part. Most 1949 pennies aren't worth much, maybe a few cents if they're a little worn. But there's a tiny handful, like unicorn-level rare, that were struck perfectly. These coins didn't just survive over 70 years, they look like they just rolled off the mint's press. We're talking pristine condition, also known as MS68 or higher in the coin grading world. When one of these rare gems hits the auction block, collectors go wild. I know what you're thinking. Okay, sounds great, but how do I know if my 1949 penny is worth millions? Good question. Let's talk diagnostics. First, grab your coin and look for the date, 1949. Next, check under the date. If there's no tiny D or S letter, congrats, you've got a no mint mark coin. But hold up. The no mint mark alone doesn't mean you've hit the jackpot. You'll need to look at the coin's condition. Is it shiny with no scratches? Are the edges crisp? If so, you might be sitting on a gold mine, well, a copper mine, technically. Here's a fun story. A few years ago, a guy in Ohio found a 1949 penny in his dad's old toolbox. At first, he thought, just another penny. But something about it caught his eye: it was shinier than the others. So, he took it to a coin expert who confirmed it was a near-perfect 1949 no mint mark penny. The coin later sold at auction for over $1 million. Imagine finding that while looking for a screwdriver. Now, before you start tearing apart your couch cushions, let's talk about where to look for these coins. Obviously, old jars and piggy banks are a good start. But thrift stores, yard sales, and even flea markets can be treasure troves. I once bought an old coffee can full of pennies for $5 at a garage sale. Spoiler, no million-dollar pennies in there, but it was still fun to dig through. It's kind of like modern-day treasure hunting, but without the eye patch. Another tip? Invest in a magnifying glass. No, not the cheap one your kid uses for science projects. A good magnifier can help you spot those tiny details that make a coin valuable. Trust me, your eyes will thank you. Oh, and here's the kicker: even if your 1949 penny isn't in perfect condition, it could still be worth more than face value. Some lower-grade coins have sold for hundreds of dollars. That's a lot of coffee money for something most people overlook. Alright, let's recap. The 1949 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those rare coins that could make you rich if you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition. Remember to check the date, look for the absence of a mint mark, and evaluate the coin's condition. And if you think you found something special, get it appraised by a professional. And now, here's the big question: do you have a treasure hiding in plain sight? Go check your coin jars, your wallet, or even your car's cup holder. Who knows? That penny you tossed aside might just be your ticket to $1.30 million. Before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next, because the next treasure could be yours. Hey, everyone. Imagine this: you're digging through your old change jar, looking for a few quarters for the vending machine, and bam! You stumble upon a penny, just a penny, right? Wrong. What if I told you that penny could be worth a staggering $1.4 million? Yep, you heard that right, a single 1998 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And today, I'm going to tell you all about it, why it's worth so much, how to spot one, and maybe even how to cash in big. Oh, and stick around for a story about how my old piggy bank almost cost me my retirement plan. Let's dive in. Okay, so first things first, what's the deal with this penny? Back in 1998, the US Mint cranked out billions of pennies. Most were pretty standard, with a little D or S mint mark to show where they were made. But a few lucky pennies skipped the mint mark altogether. No one knows exactly how it happened, But this tiny error created one of the most valuable coins in history, and now, here's the kicker: these pennies were released into circulation like any other coin. So there's a chance, you guessed it, that one could be sitting in your junk drawer right now. This isn't just about a missing mint mark. The 1998 no mint mark penny is worth a fortune because it's incredibly rare. Collectors lose their minds over coins with unique errors, especially when they're in near perfect condition. That's what makes this penny the unicorn of pocket change. And here's a pro tip: if you find one, don't polish it. Seriously, I once cleaned up an old coin I thought was valuable, only to find out I destroyed its value. Apparently, collectors like their pennies old and grimy. Go figured. Grab your magnifying glass, it's time for a treasure hunt. To spot the 1998 no mint mark penny, look at the front of the coin, just below the year. If there's no letter, no D or S, you might be onto something. But here's where it gets tricky: not every no mint mark penny is worth millions. It needs to be in almost perfect condition, with sharp details and minimal scratches. And if you're thinking, great, my penny's been through the washing machine 3 times, don't worry. Even a slightly worn 1998 no mint mark penny can still fetch a decent price, maybe not $1.4 million, but enough for a killer vacation. Okay, confession time. A few years ago, I found an old jar of coins at my grandma's house. Among the nickels and dimes was a penny that looked different. I didn't think much of it and tossed it back in the jar. A week later, I saw a news story about a rare penny that sold for over $1 million. Guess what? It looked just like the one I'd thrown back. Cue the frantic search through the jar. Spoiler alert, I never found it. To this day, I tell myself it was just a regular penny, but who knows? Moral of the story: check your change. So, you've checked your pennies, and you think you've hit the jackpot. Now what? First, don't panic, and definitely don't sell it to the first person who offers you $50. Take it to a professional coin appraiser. They'll verify its authenticity and grade its condition. Not if it's the real deal, you're in for a wild ride. Auctions are where these pennies really shine, with collectors bidding big money for a chance to own a piece of history. Alright, maybe your change jar didn't deliver, but don't give up. There are still plenty of valuable coins out there. Keep an eye out for other rare pennies, nickels, and even quarters. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Alright, folks, that's the scoop on the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Who knew a tiny copper coin could be worth so much? Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, this is your sign to check those pennies. And hey, if you do find one, send me a picture. I want to celebrate with you. Before you go, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons more tips on coins worth money, how to spot them, and maybe even how to retire early thanks to your pocket change. Hey there, treasure hunters. Have you ever looked at the loose change in your pocket and thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if one of these pennies was worth a fortune? Well, let me tell you, it absolutely could be. And today, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1972 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, this unassuming little coin could make you a millionaire. So, grab your coin jars, sit back, and let's talk about how one of these babies is worth a staggering $1.5 million. Spoiler alert, you might want to check under your couch cushions after this video. So, why is this penny so special? Well, here's the deal. Back in 1972, at the Philadelphia Mint, there was a little hoopsie-doodle, and by that, I mean some coins were struck with a dramatic doubling effect on the obverse side. This means if you take a magnifying glass to the coin, you'll notice that the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust look like they had a few too many cups of coffee and started jittering around. It's what's called a doubled die error, and collectors go absolutely nuts for it. And no mint mark? That's just the cherry on top. It confirms this coin came from Philly. Now, let's get to the good stuff, the money. A regular 1972 penny? Worth 1 cent, maybe 2 cents if you're lucky. But a 1972 doubled die penny with no mint mark? Hold on to your hats, folks. Depending on the condition, these coins can sell for thousands at auction. And the top-notch, pristine ones? Oh, just a casual $1.5 million. I mean, who knew Honest Abe could bring such honesty to your bank account? That's retirement money right there, or, if you're like me, it's buy all the snacks I've ever wanted money. So, how do you know if you've got a jackpot penny sitting in your piggy bank? First, you're gonna need a good magnifying glass. No, your phone camera isn't going to cut it. Trust me, I tried. Look closely at the year 1972 and the inscriptions around Lincoln's head. If you see clear doubling, congratulations, you've hit the coin collector's equivalent of the lottery. And remember, condition is key. A heavily circulated coin won't fetch as much, but hey, even a worn out one can sell for a few $1,000s. Not too shabby for a penny, right? Speaking of checking your coins, let me tell you a quick story. Last year, I found myself stuck at home on a rainy day, bored out of my mind. I remembered reading about valuable pennies, so I grabbed my coin jar and started sorting through them. Did I find a $1.5 million penny? Nope. But I did find a 1943 steel cent, which ended up being worth $40. Not exactly life-changing, but it sure made me feel like a treasure hunter for a day. Plus, I had an excuse to nerd out about coins with my friends. Spoiler alert, they were not as excited as I was. Here's the big takeaway, folks: every coin tells a story, and some of those stories are worth serious cash. Whether it's the 1972 double-die penny or another rare find, the key is knowing what to look for. And let's be real, there's something so satisfying about turning pocket change into life-changing money. Plus, you get to feel like Indiana Jones, but instead of ancient artifacts, you're finding valuable pennies. So, what's the moral of today's story? Never underestimate the power of a penny. That little copper coin sitting in your jar could be the key to your next big adventure, or at least a down payment on a really nice vacation. So, what are you waiting for? Start digging through those coins and let me know in the comments if you found any treasures, and hey, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that are worth serious money. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Hit the bell icon so you're the first to know when I drop a new video. Ever heard of a single penny being worth $1.6 million? Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But nope, it's real, and today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and ridiculously valuable coins ever, the 1967 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be raiding your piggy banks and junk drawers for this bad boy. So stick around, because this little copper coin could change your life. Alright, let's start with the basics. In 1967, the US Mint was going through a bit of an identity crisis. For 3 years, from 1965 to 1967, they decided to ditch mint marks altogether. That means no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, and no P for Philadelphia. Why? Because they wanted to stop collectors from hoarding coins based on mint marks. Smart plan, right? Except, they didn't count on one thing: human error. Enter the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. This isn't just your average no-mint mark coin. This one is a total anomaly, and that's why it's worth a whopping $1.6 million today. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found a jar of pennies in my grandparents' attic. It smelled weird, like old paper and mothballs, but I figured, why not? So, I started sorting through them. I didn't find anything rare, except for one penny that looked a little different. Turns out, it wasn't special at all, but hey, it gave me the coin collecting bug. Fast forward to today, I become that person who inspects every penny I come across. And guess what? That habit has led people to find literal fortunes hiding in plain sight. So, what makes the 1967 penny so special? It all boils down to a double die error. That's right, a printing mistake. Some 1967 pennies show doubling in key areas like Lincoln's face, the date, or the words "In God We Trust." This error gives the coin its astronomical value. And because there are so few of these error coins in top condition, the demand is through the roof. Imagine owning one of these pristine pennies and getting $1.6 million for it. I mean, that's not just life-changing, that's house buying money. If you want to check your pennies for this error, here's the trick: get yourself a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the date and the lettering. If you see doubling, you might have struck gold or, well, copper. And even if you don't give up. Coin hunting is like treasure hunting. It takes patience, a little luck, and the ability to explain to your friends why you're obsessing over loose change. Now, if you think you've found a 1967 penny worth some serious cash, the next step is getting it graded. Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, is the go-to company for this. They'll examine your coin and give it a grade on a scale of 1 to 70. The closer you are to 70, the higher the value. Just make sure it's the real deal, or you'll be that person trying to sell a regular penny for $1 million on eBay. Quick tip: don't clean your coins. I know, it's tempting to make them all shiny and new, but cleaning can actually lower their value. Collectors want coins in their natural, unaltered state, dirt and all. Now, I know what you're thinking: could I really have a $1.6 million penny sitting in my change jar? The answer is absolutely yes. That's the magic of coin collecting. Every coin has a story, and some of those stories are worth millions. So, go ahead, dig through your drawers, check those couch cushions, and keep an eye out for that elusive 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich. Let's turn your loose change into life-changing money together. Hey, friends! Quick question: what if I told you that a single penny from your coin jar could be worth $1.7 million? That's right, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1952 US mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny coin that's got collectors buzzing and bank accounts growing. Imagine this: you're casually rolling coins to take to the bank, and boom! You spot an old, shiny penny. But wait, could it actually be worth a fortune? Don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this penny is so valuable and how to spot one yourself. Oh, and stick around because I've got a funny little story about how I thought I struck gold, but ended up with a slightly embarrassing lesson. Alright, let's get started. Grab your coffee, your snack, and your coin jar. Who knows? Your next jackpot might just be waiting. First things first, why is a penny, a coin worth literally 1 cent, suddenly valued at $1.7 million? Well, the key lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and errors. The 1952 US penny was minted in San Francisco, hence the S mint mark, and while millions of these coins were made, only a handful of them have certain unique features or are preserved in pristine condition. It's like finding a perfect vintage car in a world of rusty clunkers. It's rare, it's pristine, and collectors go nuts for it. Now, here's the kicker: there are a few key errors and quirks that make this coin even more valuable. This means the design on the front of the coin looks slightly doubled, like a shadow or blur effect. If your 1952 US penny looks like it just rolled off the minting press, we're talking no scratches, dents, or signs of wear, then you've hit the jackpot. Even though millions were minted, very few survived in top condition, making them a collector's dream. Now, you're probably itching to dig through your loose change, right? But hold up, let me help you spot the real deal. Look at the lower part of Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the coin. If you see a tiny S, congrats, you've got a San Francisco mint penny. Make sure the coin says 1952. Anything else? Sorry, no $1 million payday. Use a magnifying glass, or your phone camera, to check for any doubling in the text or numbers. This error is subtle but oh so important. Now, a quick story: once, I found a penny that looked exactly like this in my car's cup holder. My heart raced. I was already imagining paying off my mortgage, buying a yacht, maybe naming it Penny for your thoughts. Spoiler alert, it was a 1953 penny, no S mint mark. Lesson learned: always double check the details. Coin collectors are like treasure hunters. They thrive on the thrill of the chase, and the 1952 US penny is a prized catch. With only a few perfect specimens out there, owning one is like having a rare piece of art. Oh, and let's not forget about auctions. One of these coins sold for $1.7 million because a bidding war broke out among collectors. Imagine being the person who found it in a shoebox. Instant millionaire status. But don't think this is just about money. For many collectors, it's the history that makes these coins special. The 1952 US penny was minted during the post-World War II era, a time of growth, change, and, apparently, really valuable pocket change. So, let's say you're lucky enough to stumble upon a 1952 US penny. What now? Seriously, resist the urge to polish it. Collectors value originality, even if the coin looks a little grimy. Send your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it an official grade and confirm its authenticity. Whether it's through an auction house, a private collector, or an online platform, make sure you know the value of your coin before selling it. So, there you have it, the incredible tale of the 1952's Lincoln penny, a coin that could turn your 1 cent into $1.7 million. But let's be real, whether or not you find one, the real treasure is the thrill of the hunt. Who doesn't love a good treasure story? Before you go, let me ask, have you ever come across an old coin and thought it might be valuable? Share your story in the comments, I'd love to hear it, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting tips, tricks, and millionaire making strategies. Who knows? Your next penny could change your life. Have you ever heard the phrase, a penny for your thoughts? Well, what if I told you a single penny could be worth $1.8 million? Yes, you heard that right. There's a 2015 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny out there that's making collectors lose their minds and their wallets. In today's video, I'll break down why this coin is so valuable, how you could have one sitting in your pocket right now, and a little secret about spotting valuable coins in general. So, stick around because you do not want to miss this treasure hunt. Oh, and quick story, once, I almost threw away a valuable penny without realizing it. Let's just say, after today, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Let's start with the basics. The 2015 Abraham Lincoln penny looks like any regular penny at first glance. It features good old Honest Abe on the front and the Union shield on the back. But here's the kicker, this one doesn't have a mint mark. Now, if you're new to coin collecting, a mint mark tells you where the coin was made. No mint mark? That usually means it was struck in Philadelphia, but why is this one worth $1.80 million? This particular 2015 penny is a rare minting error. You see, when coins are produced, mistakes can sometimes happen. Maybe the metal blend is off, the dies are misaligned, or in this case, it's believed that the penny was struck using the wrong planchet, a blank coin of the wrong material. Instead of the usual copper-plated zinc, this penny might have been struck on a bronze planchet or something similar. These errors make the coin incredibly rare and highly desirable to collectors. Here's the fun part, this error wasn't even discovered right away. Collectors only realized the significance years later, which means, there could be more out there just waiting to be found. Alright, now you're probably wondering, do I have this magical penny in my pocket right now? The answer? Maybe first, grab your jar of spare change, yes, even that dusty one under the couch. Look for pennies dated 2015 with no mint mark. If you find one, examine it closely. Check for anything unusual, weight, color, or texture. If you suspect you found a rare coin, get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. That's like getting a second opinion from a doctor, but for your penny. And hey, even if you don't find the 2015 penny, you might stumble across another valuable coin. Fun fact, a friend of mine once found a coin worth $500 just by sorting through a handful of change. True story, here's where things get personal. Back in 2017, I almost missed out on a coin worth $300 because I thought it was just a regular penny. I was at a coffee shop, and as I handed over some coins for my latte, the barista casually said, "You know this is worth more than your coffee, right?" I laughed it off, but later, curiosity got the best of me. I googled it, sent it for grading, and yep, it was worth $300. Ever since then, I've been obsessed with checking my change. And honestly, it's paid off. So, trust me when I say, don't overlook your spare coins. Your next $1 million discovery could be hiding in plain sight. Now, if you're new to this whole coin collecting thing, here's some advice. Start by learning about key dates and errors. Invest in a magnifying glass and a coin guidebook. Not every penny will be a jackpot, but the thrill of the hunt makes it worth it. Coin forums and social media groups are goldmines for tips and discoveries. So, there you have it, the 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.8 million. Imagine turning 1 cent into $1 million payday. It's stories like these that remind us to pay attention to the little things. Literally, before you rush off to dig through your change jar, let me leave you with this. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more coin hunting tips and strategies. Who knows? Your next cup of coffee could be paid for with a penny worth millions.